but I love meals. So
Yeah.
I'm a foodie girl. I'm not like other girls. I love eating, you know? I'm kidding this joke.
She's very demure.
But very demure, very cutesy. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Fem Tell All podcast. My name is Madison Bellissimo.
And I'm Ruth Devereaux.
And we're so happy you're here.
We are happy.
She committed to a very sweet, demure,
mindful.
So what was the cutesy?
Yes.
We're a couple of weeks behind that trend, but yeah.
I heard it's old now.
Yeah,
I'm like, didn't it just come out?
It literally did,
Yeah.
but it's already old.
So
we're
fast.
brat summer. It's
No,
not even
that's
summer
over
anymore.
too. Once I hear about it, it's done.
It's done. And once it's made it to Instagram,
Yeah.
it's pretty much done. It's
Yeah.
dead in the water.
Also, I read, not to go off topic, but I read like all the new words to Neil, like cap and riz.
Yeah.
And so now he's been trying to interject that into our conversation.
Neil, that's not for you, honey. That's not for you.
We've aged out.
Not aged out. It's like he has two against him. He's a man.
I know. But wait, no,
And-
those are guy words, right? Cap and
yes,
riz.
yes.
And
but
then I
feel
heard
like-
Ohio means weird.
oh, interesting.
And
didn't
then
know
I
that one.
heard, what are the other words?
You're
a
so
lot-
hip on the lingo.
I Googled it.
I Googled it. Wonderful. No, Neil, do whatever your heart desires. Go forth, my son.
My
so
son.
what are we covering this week, Ruth?
So, we have talked about in the past how to plan like the perfect date, but I think we talked about it maybe a little bit more broadly. Today, we are going to get specific, like exactly what to say, times, what to wear, your guidebook, your layout as a man of what us women think is the perfect first date.
I love that. So the ideal date, but really the like nitty gritty.
Specific for us, like
Yeah.
what we would expect and what would make us happy.
And we might have differing views,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
let's get into it.
Let's start with what kind of date would you prefer as your ideal
I
first
would.
date?
Let's go even further back.
Oh.
How do you want to be approached for a first date?
She's so smart. She's so right. How do I want to be approached? I would allow for social media approach.
Okay.
I think that's totally kosher. I think that's totally fine. It depends on how you do it.
Okay. And how would that? What's like? Has there been a social media outreach that you're like that was perfect?
Not perfect, but I
Okay.
think I've received a DM that I was like, it's neutral. It wasn't giving like super positive, but it wasn't giving, like a negative either.
Okay.
I was like, okay, yeah. But I would say social media is a really good ground point too, or like middle ground, excuse me, because sometimes they won't have your number. I would prefer someone texting me because I just thought about my current partner and how he did it. And he was like very to the point over text, was like, hey, nice meeting you, blah, 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 blah. Let's go out. And I was like, say motherfucking let's, But I've had other people, in the past ask me out via Instagram or something in a DM. And as long as I think if it's thoughtful, do not, and I repeat, do not use any fucking hyphenated words, any kind of like,
What's
hey,
wait, what
or like something like,
hyphenated word?
no, like more like a condensed version of like, hey, do you, the like letter you want to go out sometime? No. Do not, like, literally do not do that.
No.
But people do that.
Use your words.
Or, like, wouldn't even use a full sentence. Like, hey, you want to hang? And you're like,
hang you from a tree. No.
yeah. Yeah, so I would say go, like, be a little more, I would prefer
To the point.
and also, like, almost clinical. Like, a little professional. Almost like you're pitching to someone. Like, hey, Maddie, it was so nice meeting you. You looked great or what, I don't know. Maybe throw a little comment in there, compliment. I love a compliment. So I would say like, hey, Maddie, la, la, la.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And then.
Oh, my God.
and no, but don't put OMG, right? But then say, I would like to take you out sometime. How's this Thursday look? Boom. And again, I think to the point. Don't say, do you want to go out sometime? Hey, I'd like to take you out this weekend.
Yes. That
How's
is a
Saturday?
great point. Yes. Have the date like the time.
Because you can always change it.
Yes, absolutely. Are you free this day and time?
Yes.
Because it's specific. When it's so broad, like how many times have like when you were dating like on the more, like how many times did people like we should go out sometime
All the time.
or like, hey, like in the next couple weeks, when are you free?
They do soft pitches because they don't want to get rejected.
Yeah.
And I totally understand
I
that.
do too.
But yeah, I can't tell you how many times a guy has been like, oh, I'd love to cook for you sometime. I'd love to take you out sometime. We should get drinks sometime. Yeah. And it's always the sometime. And you're like,
it's too wishy-washy.
Yeah.
And I think also when somebody's confident and they say outright like this day and this time, it feels very like confident.
Yes.
And confidence is sexy.
Yes.
So if you can at any point when you're speaking to a woman or planning or trying to like plan a date, if you show confidence, like that's fucking sexy.
Yeah. Your foot is in the door.
Yes.
Like you are already starting off. Like I would argue women who were on the fence about going out with you would be more inclined to go out with you if you do it that pointed and that intentional. A woman, I would give someone a shot that I was not even that into if they were that intentional with asking me.
I would agree.
So do you have any changes to what I said?
No, I would agree with all of that. I also think that I wanted to ask on the compliments front. How many compliments are too many compliments?
I think more than one is too many.
Yes.
I think a solid one. I think don't make it like you're beautiful.
Right.
I think something like if you want to say something about their looks, I would say something like I'm like, use your words. There's so many beautiful words in the English language, in every language. You're striking. Ooh. You're magnetic. You, it was so special getting to meet you and spend time with you. That's a compliment, but it's not going like, hey, I thought you're really beautiful and I'd like to take you out sometime. Yeah. Like that is still, I wouldn't be like, nice. Fuck you, you know?
How dare you?
If you were like, hey, I met you, that was what my current boyfriend said. He was like, hey, it was so nice meeting you. I found it so kind that you came up to me and was like, it was something about how I was really kind and compassionate when I like involved him in the conversation at a public thing. So sweet. He didn't have to say that. Yeah. And it was genuine. Yeah. And it made me already be like, oh, he thinks like highly of me, you know, like, and it made me like already disarmed. Yeah. So I would say something like that, like striking, magnetic, like you were charming. Yeah. I would say something around the lines of, like, I just find you so interesting, intriguing. You could say so many things like that. You were hilarious. I would love to hear more.
That's it too. Like it's bringing in those specifics about like your interaction with that person or what you know about that person. I think that even when Neil asked me out for our first date, he was like, oh, you're part French. Like, what's your favorite French restaurant in town?
Cute.
Like, and then that was like, that was such a great opener because instantly I'm just like, oh, especially me, a foodie. I'm like, I like this place. I like this place. Yeah. And then he's like, I want to take you there. Yeah. And I'm like, cool, let's go. And then he even also did say like, are you free this day?
Yeah.
I think it's being specific. I think it's making it personal and like connecting with that person and like at least having, like you said, one compliment about your interaction with them, whether that be their looks or something personality-wise that you encountered when you interacted with them, even if it was over social media and you haven't met them in person yet, or even if it's on dating apps and you notice something personal about them on that, like call that to the forefront. Totally. Don't like ignore that. Yeah.
I mean, to your point about Neil too, like some people would maybe be like, if he doesn't have the place picked out, don't go out with him. And I'm like, that's a perfect example of he pitched you the idea to collaborate with him, and it was so well done because it was so intentional. Again, he said, you're French, do you like any French food? You could have easily right then been like, I don't fucking eat French food. Or you did what you did, which you're like, actually I do have a great spot. And he went, great, I'll take you. He doesn't matter, he doesn't need to look at the menu. No. He wants to just go out with you and he wants to make sure you have a good time. So that was an opportunity where he didn't necessarily have every single thing, because I feel like sometimes guys are like, what, I need to plan everything? And it's like, well, no,
just
not
ask
always.
The right questions.
Yes, exactly.
But then make the initiative. Like after he knew what I liked, then he's like, I'm making the reservation. And then that, like, to me is still like, that's still sexy and confident. Like I'm taking care of, do you want me to pick you up? Here's the next question. Do you pick up the girl or do you have her meet you there?
I'm in the camp of meeting. I love a pickup. Don't get me wrong. Like pickup is so sexy. I feel like passenger princess. Like, I just think for safety measures, for me at least, I felt more comfortable at least the first couple of dates. Meeting there. And I think that's totally appropriate. But
you still offer, I think.
Yes, I think you can offer. I think that's wonderful. I think if a man was like, hey, I would actually feel really comfortable if a guy was like, hey, do you want to meet there? I can also pick you up.
Yes, yeah.
Like, give her the option so she can say, or they can say, actually,
prefer
I'll just meet you
this.
there,
Yeah.
you know, because then
Yeah.
you don't have to also say it in like a weird way of like, I'm worried about my safety. You
Yeah.
know? You can just be like, oh, it's easier. I'll just meet you there.
Yeah.
Instead, you know, like, oh, I'm kind of out of your way.
Yeah.
And if she says that, don't triple down. I would say like,
just like, great.
be like, okay, no
See you
worries.
there.
And then,
Yeah.
and then the next time you can be like, how far are you? Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to pick you up sometime if you feel
Yeah.
comfortable. And then again, you're putting the
You know
ball
what
in
would
her
also
court.
be a baller move, especially in a place like LA.
Yeah.
Get there before and then text parking instructions.
I can't tell you how many times I've actually done that where I've texted if it's like a place I know. I'm like, the
Yeah.
parking's shitty. Like,
Be
you should
prepared
park in
for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, before the date.
Yeah, do that.
Even like the day before. If
Yeah.
you're like, hey, do you know what parking's like? Oh. Yes, that is such a baller move.
It is.
And I've also said this is like a really baller move, I feel like, and I think this is completely like unnecessary in the way of it's doing a lot, but if you want it, I know people that send car services for people too. Like, I'll
baller.
send a Uber for you. That's pretty baller.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a place that's like a valet only
Yeah.
situation.
Or if you know you guys are going to be drinking too, like
Yeah.
like for safety as
Yeah.
well, that is a baller move. It's not required.
No,
if you
God, no.
have the funds and you live in a city that it makes sense, like absolutely offer if you want to,
Yeah.
because that could be a very nice gesture.
Yeah, it might be like, hey, I'll send a car for you.
Yeah.
That's a huge baller move. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So unnecessary.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to do it, you were
I
like,
don't know
hey.
if I would do it on a first date, like
No, I agree. I think maybe on a like third or fourth
third
date.
or fourth date. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Also, do you prefer coffee dates or dinner dates?
I prefer dinner dates.
Yeah.
100%.
Even for a first date?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that I feel like I'm a little in the minority
Yeah.
there because a lot of people, I get the intention about getting drinks, like whether that be coffee or like
Yeah.
alcoholic drinks or whatever. Because it's a little more of a
Quick
teaser.
kind of meeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
a little, let's see if we have chemistry,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have an established
Sure.
dynamic.
Yeah.
But I really like sitting down and sharing a meal with someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gives you more opportunity to not only speak, it also
Mm-hmm.
gives you opportunity to see how they interact more. Like a kiosk with coffee, that can be weird.
Mm-hmm. Sure,
and
yeah.
you're like, oh, I got here first. Do I order my coffee?
Very fair.
You know?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather sit down somewhere. We can order a meal together. We can talk about the menu.
Yeah.
That's another talking point.
Yes.
But I love meals. So
Yeah.
I'm a foodie girl. I'm not like other girls. I love eating, you know? I'm kidding this joke.
She's very demure.
But very demure, very cutesy. But yeah, I think that
If somebody was to ask you on a coffee date, like what time would an ideal coffee date be?
that's a
at?
great question. I like a late morning coffee date.
So, like
10, 30, 11
Yeah.
sweet spot. I've also been known to do like a 1 p.m.
Yeah. See, I would lean more towards 1 p.m. because I feel like for me personally, like I like my mornings to like it's pretty scheduled. I like to work out. I don't want to feel rushed to get ready, and you want to get ready for meeting somebody for the first time.
Totally.
So I would lean more towards like the 1 to 2 p.m.
Yeah. I will say my first date with my current partner was breakfast, which I loved.
That's
like it was
really
so
cute, actually,
cute.
yeah.
It was so fun, but I was stressing in the morning.
Yeah, see,
Because I was like, I got up at like 7 because like our breakfast date was at like 9:30 or 10.
and you want all the
So I'm
time.
like, and I'm like, you're right. Like it's so much easier to do something midday. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you're doing a coffee date, even a lunch date with
Yeah.
I'm not even opposed to a lunch date for the first date.
True.
Yeah. I'm sorry to say, but I think dinner is my vote for sure.
And so what about dinner? What's the ideal time for dinner? Because
Ideal
if it's
time?
too early, like if it's like
Too
a
early,
5
no.
p.m., like are
I
we
think
senior citizens?
No, we
Yeah.
don't want that. I'm saying 7:30
Yes.
on the dot. Mwah.
Perfect.
Perfect for me. That's
Perfect.
like the Goldilocks time for a reservation.
Agreed.
And you'll see that those are usually booked out. So you could do a 7:45, a 7:15, an 8.
Yeah.
Like you really could play in that margin. But I would say 7:30 is great because then if it's early enough in the night that if you share dinner and you want it to continue going, you could go
can
get a
without being
nightcap.
Too late. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
That
you can
is
get a
the sweet
nightcap.
spot.
You can go maybe do another, like an event.
Yes.
You could go to like maybe mini golf or something like that.
Yeah.
You could do something after.
You could even just walk and get dessert together and it's still not too late. Yeah.
Stop it right now. I love a walk to dessert.
See, I like that
pipeline.
too. Like I like the planning, but I also like the little adventure at the end.
Yes. It's a little spontaneity.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what we want.
Yes.
We want a little cookie and we want it spontaneous, okay?
So then let's talk about conversation during the date.
Okay.
So
great.
ideal conversation topics for a first date.
Yeah, I mean, I might be a little unorthodox in this because I, again, will say anything, or I'll talk about anything. I think it's always a good heavy hitter to bring up family, to bring up friends, to bring up goals and aspirations, like career. You don't have to be like, what do you know? But like, I think to get to know what makes them tick, what they're interested in. So I think those general factors. And then I think I always love leaving room for like random ass questions where you're like, what's your favorite scent? Or like, what's your favorite
good one?
Yeah, that's like, I don't use that one a lot because I use it for special people. But because I need to know what scents you like if we're going to date. You know, like if you're going to be my boyfriend, I need to know. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I think one big rule of thumb for everybody going on dates is ask questions about the other person. Don't just talk about yourself. Like that's a big, big red flag for me. And I hear it from a lot of people that people do not reciprocate.
Yeah.
They'll talk about themselves, then they'll go on to the next topic about themselves, and the next one. It's not like, what about you?
At the very least, it should be a what about you?
Yeah.
Or, and you?
Yeah.
I would say the actual proper way to do it is to say, what about you? Oh, actually, tell me about blah. Like, take
expand on
their
that.
answer from that question, and now you ask the next question.
Yes.
And it continues. It cycles. If we all know, like, the dating capability, like, we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem hard, but it seems rare. And also, say thank you. Like, say thank you. And, like, I've heard this from so many people. They're going on dates, like, and people are not being appreciative even on a first date. Like, that to me is, like, again,
being
another
polite.
red flag.
Yeah, just being polite and courteous.
Yeah.
Like, if you're late, like, I've heard about that phenomenon specifically with women, and I didn't know that. Like, specifically women showing up 15 minutes late and not saying anything.
Not saying anything?
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm 3 minutes late, I am like...
You're on top of it, yeah.
Beads of sweat are down my... Like, you know? I'm like, I am properly communicating every fucking footstep I'm taking from the parking lot. You know, like, I'm 10 feet away. You know, like, I just don't understand, like, how people aren't courteous in that way. Like, it's one thing to art... Like, you should be punctual and on time, but, like, it's LA or wherever,
things happen.
You know.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah.
So if you're late, like, at least communicate it. Do not be weird or frivolous with this person's time, and you respect a little, you know. So I agree with you on that. Like, I think just communicate, be courteous, say thank you. Say thank you for getting the reservation. Like, some people might be like, well, it's assumed.
No.
Still thank them.
No.
Like, even if they're like, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, what is the worst they're going to say? Like, you don't need to thank me for everything. Okay. Like, weird flex. Like, no one's gonna be upset about that.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, okay, so then for the man, outfits.
May I ask one thing before we do
Yes.
outfits? No, actually, let's do outfits, and then I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Outfits. I think you need something cool, chic, and I know that's hard. Men are like, what does that mean? I think something that compliments you.
Yeah.
Something like, wear a color that maybe like brings some pigment to your face. Definitely fucking shower. And I know that sounds like a crazy ass, like, we shouldn't have to say that, but you'd be surprised. Do something with your hair.
Yeah.
Like, do something, like, don't put it in a hat, like, unless it's like a fashion hat. But I would say, like,
sure. It
that's
depends
a
on where
very...
you're going to, I think.
I would still say like baseball cap on your first date is a no-go for me.
I think the safest bet is wear a pair of jeans, wear a nice pair of shoes, and a button-up.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
It doesn't matter anything else.
Short sleeve button up,
it
long
doesn't
sleeve.
matter.
You could roll up the sleeves.
Yeah.
Like, do a Henley, the 3 buttons. Those are great. Love a Henley. Love a fucking Henley. Yeah, Connor right now is wearing a button up. He's wearing jeans.
Yes, you could wear this on a date.
And a baseball cap.
Yeah.
Minus that.
But you didn't know.
Yeah.
This isn't a date.
Connor.
But I did shower 3 times.
Yeah. See? People put in effort when they need to.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's like, I agree with you. I think the like button up jean combo.
And just a nice
You
pair
could
of
even do
shoes.
slacks if you're feeling crazy.
Sure.
You know?
Again, depending on the location of where you're going. I think even if you're doing a lunch date, I don't care if you're doing a coffee date.
Yes.
You just wear a nice pair of jeans.
Yes.
And then a nice pair of shoes and a button up.
Yes.
You're set.
And when we're saying nice pair of shoes, we're not saying like they need to be like Oxfords or anything.
No,
Like,
just
we're saying
clean
like a clean
shoes.
shoes, like even if that's a tennis shoe or something like
Yeah.
that, totally fine. Just like something
Absolutely.
that looks put together.
Yes.
Like I don't want to look at you and say, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Like how did this all connect? You know, like we don't need that.
Yes, no.
So my follow-up question
Please.
was, because I agree with you that I think we can all agree, and maybe wear some cologne. Can we say that?
Yes. I think you should, because I think scent is very.
Scent is
You know
really-
what's funny? I was at the gym the other day and this girl walked by me and she smelled like you, and instantly I missed you. Yeah, and I think scent is so
I'm gonna
close.
cry. Oh my god, she smelled like me. Was it good?
Yes, it was really good. She was. I think she was wearing one of your perfumes, and it reminded me of you. And like instantly, I missed you. And I was like, it reminded me how much scent is connected with memory. And
Yeah, it's a
person.
sensory. Yeah, 100%.
And so I think you absolutely should wear a cologne that you like to wear, because also like you want the person that you're gonna date to like the way that you smell.
Yeah, just a little spritz.
Yeah, not a lot. No more than 2 sprays.
I would say you could do more than. It depends on how
Strong it
is.
Okay.
I would.
Can I say also
Yes,
how
yes.
I do it?
Yes.
So I'll spray 3 times across, not like right on,
Yeah. No.
and then I'll do a spritz on my wrist,
Nice.
and I'll put it on the nape of my neck.
Oh,
There you
nice.
go.
Love
Okay.
that.
Yep.
I
I love
I
that.
love how I'm acting it out. No one can see this.
I know no one can see. I know he's giving a full show right now.
Yeah,
but
but
I
yeah.
agree with that. The
Yeah.
nape or the pressure points and then the nape. Yeah, absolutely.
And,
I think,
and then last, finally, just like a
yeah,
shower.
just like a
That's
shower
a
one.
lot.
Just,
though. I
no,
feel
just one spritz
Yes,
over me,
yes,
and then I just
you
kind
let
of
it
like.
fall.
Okay.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I
will
wish
say-
you guys could see. He's doing.
He's going
this.
like this. Yeah. No, but you let it fall. I agree. Like the from Queer Eye, JVN says, I think it's like spray, delay, walk away, and like you walk through it. So it's like you.
See? Yeah, it's like
that's
a
one
light,
thing.
like,
just a little
scent to it.
dusting.
Yeah.
But I think and I honestly argue that you can put it directly on your clothes. But I would say just be cognizant of where you're putting that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, not like it can't be like
like
2
here.
inches away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like
Because
here.
otherwise, it's going to create a spot.
Yes.
You know, it has to be.
No, God,
Yeah.
no. Like
Exactly,
here,
yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
I'm the physical representation. So yeah, okay. So I agree. Cologne, smell a
Yes.
certain way, look good. You know,
Yes.
comb your hair.
Please.
God forbid.
Please.
We ask you to comb your hair.
Yes.
Um,
And do
chapped
male.
lips.
Oh.
Chapped lips.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Just
Chapstick-
put on a fucking chapstick. You are not going to be like a fucking like, oh God. They're not going to take your man card away from you if
But
someone
also, like,
sees you pull
want
out a
your
chapstick.
lips to be looking kissable. If you
Yeah.
want that the end of the date kiss.
Yes. Yeah, just in case, because we
Yeah.
want it. Even if you're like, I don't kiss on the first date, I wouldn't. Blah, blah, blah.
You still want
You
them
want
to
it to be a visual.
Yes.
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 I agree. Do you think something like flowers is necessary on a first date?
I don't think it's necessary. I think it would be appreciated.
nice touch.
Yes.
It's
And
a
I
nice
don't
touch.
think you need to do like some grand bouquet. I think even just one singular flower on the first
So
date would be
cute.
so cute.
A solo flower is like
Yeah.
honestly a really baller move,
Yeah.
or like one of the like mini bouquets from
Yeah.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
This is if you're going above. This is like you're this is
going
the
10
woman I
steps
want
forward.
to
Yeah.
marry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to seal the deal.
I feel like that. And I have heard from men
Mm-hmm.
that they were like, I used to give flowers and then I was told it was kind of an overkill. And I'm like, oh, that's really sad. I'm sorry that you
Yeah.
heard that. I personally don't think it's an overkill. I think a
either.
huge bouquet, I would be like, you don't know
Too
me.
much, yeah.
But I think on a first date, a singular flower,
Yeah.
a small little thing, so
just
sweet.
like a small gesture.
Yeah.
Open doors. Please open doors.
For the love of God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Why are we saying this?
I know.
But it's
But like, some people just don't know. Like I think that like there's might be somebody that's just like
you're so right.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I was like, why are we saying this? You're so right.
Yeah.
And I will say,
if you're watching this and you're genuinely trying to learn, like this is what we want to do this for,
Mm-hmm.
like just like it's a small gesture, but it goes a long way. It also shows that you're very courteous and like very
Yeah.
gentlemanly, and like we take that goes a long way.
it really does.
Yeah.
It really
I saw
does.
a video the other day from a divorce lawyer that was talking about when this couple knew it was the end, and the wife said was when he stopped buying her favorite snack at the store.
Yeah.
And he talked about how much small gestures go a long way for women, and they truly do from the first date into
Yes.
10 years and 20 years in.
Yeah. No, I read a whole article on that where it was
Yeah.
like, and maybe you had sent it to me. It was like
Maybe.
when people knew that they were getting a divorce. And a lot of the time it was like the husband didn't reciprocate something like that. Like she would always go to the store and get both of their favorite snacks.
Yeah.
And then she sent him to the store once and he only got his favorite snack. And again, I don't think that was like a
wasn't.
malicious thing.
But that's the
But it's, you
problem.
have to have
Yeah.
consideration for your partner.
Absolutely.
And I think even starting as early as a first date.
Absolutely.
Like the parking thing is a
Yeah.
huge consideration
So
thing. Like
considerate.
being like, oh, she's coming from, and that's where also we've mentioned it in a past episode. I think it's really smart to, if you know the general area of where she lives, try and plan the first date closer to her.
Absolutely.
I really highly recommend that. Do you have something to say, Connor?
Oh, I did actually. Yeah. This goes back to the very beginning when you were talking about being very decisive in planning it. Mm-hmm. I also do that as a sign, too, that if I give a date like Tuesday, 7:30, 7:30 actually, it's always, I don't know why that is a sweet spot.
It really is the sweet spot. It's Goldilocks.
Yeah.
But 7:30 Tuesday, this place, usually near them. Yeah. And then if they say, no, I can't do that, and they provide nothing else, then I know... It's kind of a sign to me that they're probably not interested.
Yeah, because I agree with you, because I think a woman that would be interested in planning another one would be like, but please, like at the very least, I think she would say, at least like, let me rain check with you. This week is busy. I'll text you next week or something like that. And then if they don't, then you know the sign too. But like, I think they would absolutely reciprocate with some kind of.
Well, if a girl's excited to see you, just like if a guy's
I will
excited to
fucking
see you,
move my schedule.
No, you will. Yeah,
I'm like, Ruth, we're not recording.
Like,
no,
okay,
I'm kidding.
No, but like, and I think anybody would understand that if you're excited to see somebody, you're gonna make adjustments.
Yes,
and it goes both ways for men and women. Men and women know that, and women know that.
So that's why when men are not conforming, or they're like, oh, I'm just so stacked with work. Yeah. We're going like, oh, he's not interested, but not enough.
Yeah.
And like that already gives me the ick.
Oh, for sure.
I'm like, okay, you can't even be good with time management that you can't find a fucking coffee time or
Or like 1 hour in your entire week? Like,
yes. Come on. No. You're not interested. You're not doing this. Yeah. Okay. But I agree with you, and I think I know that sometimes you can't always know where she lives. Specifically on dating apps, it usually gives the general city, area. Yeah. And I've had so many girlfriends complain about that. Like my girlfriend just went on a date the other day, and she was saying how rude it was that he didn't check
where she was,
her location on. And I'm like, and I was like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, where I was like, does he know where you live? She's like, it's on my profile. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. And I was like, because he made her, not made her, but like there was multiple, this restaurant has multiple locations, and he chose one that was like crazy outside of her. It took her like 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh no.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not the best.
Yeah,
that's
not
like,
the best.
Try to be at least mindful of it.
Be mindful. Be aware. Like also, like we've talked to our friend that he's on the dating apps, and he's even saying like he reads through everything, so he has conversation topics. Like that to me is also a clear sign of somebody that's actually looking for a relationship and actually looking to be an equal partner with somebody, when you're looking for what is going to be convenient for them and giving them the option. Like
completely.
Anyway,
it's intentional.
It's a huge sign for like women when we're thinking of a partner that we want to be with, that they are considerate and caring. And like if you're not thinking about those factors early on when you're courting somebody, you're definitely not thinking about them later on when you're in the relationship with them.
In the midst of work schedule, babies, whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
My final question, I think, on this, and you might have more, is do you think a first kiss is like for sure or no?
No, I don't think
I
it
agree
is.
with that.
Yeah, I think it really depends. Like I think when I was dating, I did have a rule against that, like in that part, but then not with Neil.
Yeah, you used to have a stark no.
I was like, no kissing
I would
on the first
not
date.
kiss, and I was like, I might. I straight up would be like, I've known to do it, but it was never assumed, and I think that's the point that I'll die on that hill. It should never be assumed.
Absolutely.
I think there's,
and it doesn't mean anything bad. Like if she doesn't kiss you, it could also be that she's like, I want to see, like I want to protect myself. I don't want to open that up yet. So definitely don't take it as a sign she's not interested. That just might be a rule that she's kind of moving forward with.
Totally. Yeah. So that's kind of wrapping up the date. But do you have any other?
I have two other questions for you.
Yay.
Ideal wrap up to a date. And then also ideal follow-up from a date.
Great. Two great questions. So I know we already kind of talked on like a nightcap or a dessert cap. Love a dessert cap.
Love it.
I can't express to you how much I love a dessert cap, where it makes me like just simply like going to a ice cream place, which if you need some ice cream places, hit me up. I have so many places to send you.
But here's the other thing. Imagine like you go to a dinner date and a guy goes, hey, so I was looking in this area and I saw
really
this top rated like
dead
heart. melting.
Yes, and especially if it's like a little walking.
Yeah.
thing. If we can walk
and
there.
talk and like
a
get
little
to know
walk
each
and
other.
talk
Yeah.
and grab a little ice cream cone.
So cute.
Kill me.
Yeah. Do
I love
that.
it. Do it. I highly recommend. I love that. So that's an ideal wrap up.
Yes.
I think I always would recommend walking her to her car if she did drive.
I completely
think
agree with
that's
that.
super classy.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes, I mean, if she's giving you really crazy body language where she
doesn't
seems
want it,
uncomfortable,
yeah.
then drop
Just
it.
let it go.
Don't like force the
Yeah,
woman.
like, no, I'm
But I
walking
would
you.
say if you're like, oh, okay, well, catch you later. No. Be like, hey, where was your car? Where are you parked? Because so many women feel so unsafe walking in cities. Even last night I was at Pilates and my instructor was like closing up the studio and I waited for her and she was like, you're waiting? And I was like, you're a woman alone at night. I was like, I know it's like a safe parking lot, but I was like, why not? Like it's two of us. We should just walk together anyway. I was like, what? I would get to my car 3 minutes earlier if I didn't, it's like, and so that kind of like and I only brought that up because I feel that way when I'm alone. Like I would wish someone would wait and walk me. So that's where I think it's really classy if you have the time and energy, which you should, to like close out the night with walking them to their car, walking them to their doorstep. I don't say like, even that's cute. I would say if you drop them off and like walk them to the doorstep, I think that's fine. Because sometimes the like goodbyes in a car, if they drove you,
it's just a bit awkward.
It's a little awkward. It's a little like side hug.
Well, it's just also again to me like it's just the gentleman move. Like Neil, even to this day, will not let me open a car door. He on our first date, he walked me to my front door, and like it wasn't like he had to, but like it's just those little things where it's just like, oh, he's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Oh, he cares. Oh, he's
I agree. So that's how I would close up the date. So something fun, adventurous, a little nightcap of some sort. And then you escort them to their car or their home. And I think you just say like, I think there's a closing statement. I think if you need to pre-prepare it, do it. If you're like, oh, we can just riff off of each other, awesome. Go with what is your strength. But I would say something around the lines. And honestly, only anything that's authentic and genuine for you. I had a really nice time tonight. It was really great getting to know you a little better. I'd love to do this another time. I think that really makes me feel comfortable as someone that if I'm interested in you, if you say, I would really like to go out with you again right then and there.
Yeah.
I tell my girlfriends like, well, he already said he wants to go on a second date.
Yeah, so I'm going to see him again.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I feel good. So there's not that in between.
Of like, I don't know how this ended.
And you can still follow up and we'll get to that. But I would say, something around the lines of like, I had a really nice time with you. I'd love to take you out again.
Yeah.
I'll text you tonight. Please let me know when you get home. Yep. Let me know when you get home is
so sweet.
So sweet.
I love that.
Even
I
if
love
it's
that line.
Even if you walk them to their door at their apartment complex and you go, let me know when you get inside safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. Beautiful cover girl. Do it, please. So, okay. How would you say that people should follow up?
I think the ideal follow-up is the next day. I don't think you wait too long. I think that if somebody's truly excited about you, they're going to follow up the next day. They're going to again say, thank you so much. I really appreciated getting to know you. When are you free again? Like, I think you, again, if you want to see this person again, and you've already said, I want to see you again, then already follow up. Say, like, I want to see you again. This is a day that works for me. I thought it'd be fun if we did this.
Yeah. I was thinking, I was looking up this really cool restaurant.
We were talking about like art galleries.
Call something
like,
back. Call something back
Yeah.
from the conversation.
Yeah, I looked this up and they have like an opening this night. Like we should do this
so much.
Yeah.
We gave you the playbook.
Use it and do it.
Use it for good.
You will be successful. You
Use
just
it
will
for
be.
good.
Even if like you don't end up like dating this girl, she will remember you as a good date. You will have the green flag. She will introduce you to her friends.
Yeah.
If you are not meant for her.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's 100% true.
So be a good guy. Follow the rules. Report back.
Yeah, let us know if it works.
Yeah.
Let us know your success rate.
Yeah.
Success rate. No, I'm joking. Okay.
And go to the fetish episode. No.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining. We hope it helped. We hope that we gave you specifics. If you have any additional questions, let us know. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to tune in next week and subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.